Let me reset that camera actually. There we go. So I have not uploaded in a while, and people in the comments are like, why haven't you posted another video? Is everything okay? And yes, everything is absolutely fine. I'm still in recovery, and I'm working on getting better and having total food freedom. I'm going to put some yoga music on because I want to realign my chakra, you know. Alexa, play yoga music.
The playlist Yoga Flow, free on Amazon Music.
Anyway, let's get started. Today, I'm going to turn that down. One sec. I'm going to spray my Sol de Janeiro because it smells gorgeous. Treat myself, you know, to a bit of perfume. Anyway, this video is about, let me put this down here. This video is all about the do's and don'ts for people with an eating disorder. I am not a healthcare professional. I'm not a psychotherapist, a psychologist, a psychiatrist. I have not been trained by CAMS. This is just my view on things as a person who's suffered with anorexia nervosa. I cannot speak for all eating disorders like binge eating disorder, bulimia, Pick's disease. I cannot speak for them. I can speak a bit for bulimia because I've had some of those traits, but I cannot speak for any of the others. So this is just, lo and behold, for anorexia sufferers and family of those with anorexia. So I also want to say, not everyone with an eating disorder has to be underweight. It is a mental illness, not a physical illness. You're only poorly if you're poorly mentally with an eating disorder. It's not just about a BMI or a number on a scale. You are so much more than a number, and I wish people would just learn that, because whenever anyone ever hears the word anorexia, they immediately think of like a skeleton, and it's just wrong. Don't ask me why, but they do. And it's just sad that diet culture has raised us in a way where we've decided to look at it like that. One sec, let me turn that down again. Better. Anyway, I've got a list of things here, and let me say, not everyone with an eating disorder has fear foods. Fear foods are the foods that a person with an eating disorder, it's a symptom that only some people get. It's some of the foods that they fear the most. For me, that would be like all of the stuff that diet culture puts out there, like chocolate, crisps, avocado, potato, all of the carby foods with high calorie bullshit. Anyway, all of those foods are what someone with an eating disorder may or not fear. It could be grapes, and you could fear them if you have an ED. You could fear bananas. I had a fear of bananas. You could fear pasta. You could fear rice, stir fry, anything. Even strawberries, which have virtually nothing in them, and even water, which personally, what my eating disorder told me was that there was calories in water, which is utter filth because there's no calories in water. And loads of professionals told me that, and I thought that about salt as well. But anyway, enough of me rambling. I cannot speak for others' illness. Every illness is different. Every ED is different, because just because this is my experience doesn't mean that this has to be your experience, or your daughter, your cousin, your nephew, your niece's experience. It's mine, and what I believe could be potentially triggering and what could potentially be helpful. Also, I've got my nails done, by the way. How do you like them? They're really nice. This is my favourite blue. It's like a Cinderella blue, and I've got swirls. Yeah, anyway, enough of me rambling. Starting with the do's. Do come up with distractions before and after meal times. This helped me a lot, because when you're in hospital, all they will give you is this medication called PRN. PRN is an antipsychotic which calms the brain when in a high state of anxiety or when having really bad insomnia. It helps you to calm down. I have promethazine, and that is helpful, but it's not a natural thing. It's just putting chemicals into your body that aren't dangerous, but just it's not normal in the outcome. So instead of that, you can have distractions. So like playing a word game, playing a puzzle, doing art, crafts, watching a movie, having a bath. Anything can be a distraction. Any hobby is a distraction. It can help, and for me, it was a big part of a step in my recovery. If someone was like, my mum was there when I needed distractions, but if I had distractions before and after meal times, before things got even like escalated even worse, it would have stopped me from spiraling as fast as I did. And I'm happy to say now that I'm in a place where I want to recover, but not everyone wants that at first in recovery. I know I didn't. Well, I don't think anyone really wants that unless they've relapsed, because anyone who's relapsed would know that recovery is the best choice, because it just makes you so unhappy. And yeah, anyway, enough of me rambling. The second thing is do ask for whether they like praise. Praise can be anything from a well done or a good job, amazing work. It can be anything. And some people, I know when I was really ill, I did not like that at all. My dietitian in hospital said to me, "Well done, Chloe, you've gained so much weight. Wow, well done." Which, first of all, it's not even about weight gain. It's just, all of that is utter bullshit. Like, weight gain is not a big part in recovery. It's like the tiniest detail. Like, it's life-threatening. That's where the life-threatening mortality comes in. But food is the real issue. And like perception on weight, not about weight loss, not about weight gain. It's all about that. But enough of me going on and on. Just ask your like family member or friend who's going through a really hard time if they like praise or if they absolutely hate it, because it can be potentially triggering, and this is how I can percept it. So if you say, "Well done, you look well," well, first of all, you don't even say that they've put on weight. Just move away from that. Just say like, "You look so much happier." Because the first thing that's going to go into their mind, if you say, "You've gained weight, you look well," or "Well done, you're eating, wow, I'm so proud of you," before you say that, just have a moment to think that maybe in their brain, in their eating disordered brain, they're going to be thinking, "Oh my God, they mean I've gained weight, they mean I'm fat, they mean I must be better now, and healthy means that I'm overweight. I'm so unhealthy because they think I'm healthy." And that's a major trigger, and you have to be very aware of what you say, because it can potentially really harm the person. I know it harmed me a lot. Now, third thing, do not talk about weight. Do not talk about weight, because it's just going to hurt you, and it's going to hurt your child, your cousin, your nephew, your family member or friend. It's just going to hurt them, because it is not a weight disorder. It's not a BMI disorder. It's not a lack of menstruation disorder. It's not a fainting disorder. It is an eating disorder. Okay? Yeah. It's an eating disorder, not any of those things. And if you talk about weight and say, "Oh wow, you're really, like, don't worry," because I know what someone said to me while I was in hospital. They're like, "Don't worry, Chloe, I was so much more skinnier than you when I was anorexic." And that's what sent me downhill. That was the one thing that had me spinning out and going, oh my God, they think I look fat, they think I'm huge, they think I'm hideous. That was the one thing that got me spiraling down. So you have to be really careful when you're talking about weight, because it can really harm you. Now, fourth thing, do not talk about skeletal bodies. When I've been triggered, a lot of the time they talk about anorexia like it's a weight disorder, and they'll say, oh my gosh, don't you have to look skeletal to be anorexic? I think all of this ties together what I'm saying. It's an eating disorder, it is an illness. It's not something to be romanticised about diet culture bullshit, because diet culture can just fuck off. But it's not any of those things, and it saddens me to think that people actually live in a world where that is so immature that they think, oh, I can't have whole butter on my toast, I can't have full fat yogurt. It's just the actual non-fattening foods that you get in supermarkets, like the diet culture bullshit, they've got more chemicals in, and they're going to be more unhealthy for you than the full fat spread, the like pasta. It's just so much worse for you, honestly. I can't even explain it, but you know. Anyway, fifth thing, don't talk about how much you've eaten in a day if you've not eaten too much, if you've eaten quite a lot. Don't say things like, oh God, I've gained weight, oh my gosh, I've gotten fat. Don't say that, because the first thing is, you might be even less of a weight than that person with the eating disorder. And the first thing that's going to click into their mind is, oh my God, if they are saying that they are fat, I must actually be humongous. I must be so fat. That makes sense, right? That makes sense. And that can just make things so much worse. And all you want is for your child to like be happy again and have a fulfilling life. But you saying that is gonna really trigger and is gonna make things worse. Another thing, sixth thing, do not compare. Sixth thing, do not compare your friend or your family member with an eating disorder to someone else with an eating disorder. I know I've been compared. I've heard conversations where people are saying, oh, she's on more meds than Chloe. Oh, she's having more than Chloe. That's just going to send a signal that, oh my God, if I'm not having as many meds as them, I must not really be depressed. I must not be really sick enough. Or, oh my gosh, they need more food than me. That means they're underweight and they get the pleasure of having more food. Whereas me, who's overweight, has the pleasure of no food, because it's just like that. And it actually saddens me to think that I ever just thought of myself more like as a number. And that's all I was when I was in hospital. I was a number on the system. My whole life, and I hate math, revolved around numbers. It revolved around the weight on a scale, my BMI, calories, carbs, time, because, oh yeah, that's another thing. Number 7. Do not talk about burning calories. It's not helpful, because some people with an eating disorder over-exercise. I know I did have that problem, but not everyone has that. So I just want you to be aware before you think, oh my God, I'm not exercising enough, I must not have an eating disorder. Bullshit. You do have an eating disorder. You are entitled and to your own opinion and your own worth, and you are valid. And I hear you. But just don't talk about calories. because it can really spin some people out, especially in early stages of recovery. Because I know when I was in general hospital, the first thing the dietitian came and said to me was, all right, so we've got this Fortisip supplement and it's got tons of calories in, it's great for weight gain. No, stop talking about weight gain, because weight gain, yes, is a part of recovery, but it's a tinsy wincy part of recovery. The real bad thing here in play is the mental illness. And you, by talking about calories and saying, oh, that's too much calories, then they're gonna completely restrict that food. Or you saying, oh, this is low in calories, this must be good. The person with the eating disorder is immediately going to think, wow, I should be having that because that's low in calories and I will lose weight. Bullshit. Bullshit. No food has to be low or high in calories to be food. I say that. Low in calories is not the right way to go. I think you should just have what you want and have what makes you happy, because life is too short to just be a number. And you weighing your cornflakes isn't real life. Right, now we're going on to don'ts. Don't praise your child or your family member or friend if they don't want to be praised. Yeah, you might be thinking, oh, I'm just being nice, I'm being really kind to them, I'm saying they're doing well. It can be really harmful, and I know it's harmful to me. You have to remember that they're not going to want to hear that when they're really ill. All they want is to be underweight, and their eating disorder is romanticising the hell out of being in a hospital bed and being on a drip, having a cannula, having an NG feed. Their eating disorder is romanticising that heavily. I know mine was. And you just have to keep that in mind. So please, 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 if they don't want to be praised, don't praise them. Another one is 2. Don't tell them to name their eating disorder a certain name to make them more realistic and not just in their head, and so they don't feel crazy. Because at the end of the day, the eating disorder voice is non-existent. It, for the person, is heavily existent, but in reality, that voice is 1, not real, and 2, not real, and 3, guess what? You would never guess it, not real. So please do not tell them to call it Anna or Bill or Kate, because that's just a load of crap. Third, if something triggering comes onto the television and your child or your friend is coming out in a cold sweat, do not say things like, oh, it's fine, don't worry, everyone should lose weight. Or just instead, if they're really anxious, say to them, it's not about you. You're separate from that person. You are not defined by how another person acts. And just try to comfort them and console them and tell them that everything will be okay. And they're not going to ever be overweight, and they're never going to be underweight. Either way, they're just going to be naturally healthy. The thing that they're going to want to hear is that, oh, you're underweight. You should never talk about weight with an eating disorder, because weight is, as I said, I feel like I keep saying this. I do keep saying this, but it is not a big part in recovery. It's really not. Yeah, it's vital and your body's going to need it, but throughout, like, you have to remember, all of the weight they're gaining is going to go to the place where they've lost it the most. For me, that's my stomach. It could be your legs, it could be your arms, it could be anywhere, but just to protect those vital organs. And yeah, so do not add to the stress of something triggering on TV, just do a distraction, because it is so much better. Or just turn the damn TV off. Or if they find something triggering in a book per se, because I'm filming this on my bookshelf, if there's something triggering in a book, just tell them, ask them, okay, do you really want to be reading this book? If it's really triggering you, then maybe you should just buy a new one or throw this one away. And if they don't want to, then they can carry on, because it's normal to come across these weird, like horrible diet culture things in life. But either way, they're going to be triggered over and over repeatedly in their life, and there's nothing you can do about it, because it's just going to happen. So at the end of the day, if there's something triggering, just try your best to be supportive and tell them to let it go over their head. And that's just the anorexic cognitions talking, not your child. It's not the person. And I have another thing to say. Anorexia is not a choice. We are people with anorexia nervosa. We never choose to make ourselves go through all of this pain. It's the eating disorder that takes over. Another don't is don't say you've gained weight. Don't say that you look really healthy. This is going to immediately bring anorexic cognitions out and go, oh my gosh, they think I look fat, they think I look chubby, they think I'm overweight. By you saying that they look healthy and they look beautiful and all that, it's going to send the opposite message. They're quite literally not going to be happy with that response. Instead, say things like, you look so much happier. I love you so much. I'm so proud of how far you've come. Not just from the eating. You have to make that clear. You can't say, oh, just because you're eating, that's not why I'm proud of you. I'm proud of how far you've come, how you're dealing with this horrible illness, and how you're managing. Like, if they're eating okay now, you just have to remember to congratulate them in a different way. Because if they don't want to be praised, they don't want to be praised. So you're just going to say, I'm so proud of you for coming so far and for being so kind to everyone you meet, because it warms my heart. You can't say things like, you look well, you look like you've lost weight, you look like you've gained weight. It's going to send the wrong message. And if people knew that, if my family and my friends knew that before, then it would have saved me a lot of time and nearly dying. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys soon.